Being mysterious is a way to get girls to actually fantasize about you when you're not there. In this video, I'm going to talk about why being mysterious gets girls attracted, gets them to actually chase you, and then I'm going to talk about how you can be more mysterious. The first reason that mysteriousness is an attractive quality is because people want things that are limited. Why is a Lamborghini so much more expensive than like a F-150 truck? Yet it does pretty much the same thing. Or the same thing with a Rolex. It basically does the same thing as a G-Shock, but because it's in a limited quantity, the perceived value is higher. Number two is that women are more romantic and they just generally fantasize more than guys. Just think about like all the romance novels that girls read. They read about like billionaire surgeon NASCAR drivers and stuff like that. And they can fall in love with these characters who they never even meet in person. It's the same reason why girls are all falling in love with Luigi Mangione. It's this mysterious character who like looks attractive, he's in a high profile case. It's weird, but girls just seem to fantasize more about mysterious characters. Number three, being mysterious is good because it builds anticipation. She wants to figure out more about you. She wants to figure out about your past, you know, your ex-girlfriends, whatever. And it also gives her some space, so it gives her some time to fantasize. The first way that you can be more mysterious is by not texting girls at all. Get her number, schedule a date, but does texting her actually build more attraction? Is it fun to do? You know, is it fun to be Shakespeare, to be all poetic? Most guys would probably say no. And most guys would probably just want to hang out with the girl, right? But the reason that a lot of guys will constantly be texting girls in between dates is just because it makes them comfortable. They think they're securing a girl by constantly keeping tabs on her, when really it's just killing all the attraction and making her way too familiar. Another huge mistake that I made in one of my last relationships is that I hung out with this girl like every single day. So we became way too familiar. We always knew what each other was doing, and over time that relationship just fell apart. So I recommend only hanging out with a girl like once per week, especially for like the first 6 months. I think that men and women really need to spend some time apart regularly just so that they can get the feeling of being without the person, what it's like not having them around, and then having the feeling of reuniting again. When you're away from a girl, there's 3 questions that they're fantasizing about. Number 1, they're wondering if you're thinking about them. Number 2, they're wondering what you're doing. That is, if you're not texting them, letting them know constantly. And number 3, they're wondering if you're talking to any other girls or you're like cheating on them. They have no clue about this if you're giving them some space. The more thoughts like this that she has, the more attracted she's gonna feel towards you, and the harder and harder it is gonna be for her to just basically resist. Number 2, to be more mysterious, is you wanna not share everything about yourself immediately. If I go on a first date with a girl and I immediately tell her my whole life story, you know, starting from childhood, high school, I tell her everything about myself, childhood trauma, she's gonna feel like she has already completely figured me out and she's just learned about me way too fast. The less information I give to a girl about my personal life, the more that she's gonna want to know about it. If she asks you a boring question like, I don't know, where you went to high school, you could literally choose to ignore that question and then keep moving forward in the conversation like you never heard it. Another thing you can do is give really like cryptic short answers, like you really don't care about talking about yourself. This is also really just good for showing that you don't need to brag about your own life, because most guys, they'll go on a date and they'll want to brag to a girl about themselves, and girls are just turned off by this. Most people, they want to talk about themselves, so the more that you can reverse the conversation onto the girl, get her to talk about herself or talk about random other stuff that you might have in common, the better. Or the second way you can respond to these questions is by giving like a funny response or giving like a short answer. For example, if she asks me, what do you like to do for fun? I could just give like a smart ass answer like, you know, lately I've been really doing some underwater basket weaving. And that would be a conversational thread that would lead to something else, and I completely just avoided answering that question. The only problem with doing this is if you do it too much, you're gonna seem like try hard. You're gonna absolutely seem like you're doing this on purpose. So only do this a little bit, and then try not to talk about yourself. Try to reverse the conversation on her, and you're gonna seem a lot more mysterious than most of the guys that she goes on dates with that just absolutely talk about themselves for hours. To recap the video, being mysterious is good because it gets a girl to fantasize about you and it builds anticipation. And to be mysterious, you want to not text a girl or answer her texts. You want to give some space, some time in between dates. And next, you want to not reveal too much personal information about yourself. And when she asks you questions, sometimes give her a funny answer, sometimes just ignore her and keep talking. If you've watched this far into the video, it probably means you want abundance in your dating life and you want to be more confident with women. If so, then click the link in the description and join my free community so I can help you, and also so you can be a part of a group of guys who are also on the same journey.